Hi, this is Islamic Dad here. If you enjoy this channel, please subscribe. It does help me out a lot. Today I am going to do a video on what might be called smoovering. I mean, I haven't read or heard anything similar to this, so I don't exactly know what to call this. I'll get in and you'll see what I'm talking about. So you have your relationship with a narcissist. It ends, you break up with them, they break up with you, either way. And regardless of that, the narcissist turns the smear campaign up to 11 if they haven't already. And at that point, they're just, on blast, trying to do character assassination, spread lies, do the whole, Darvo, deny, attack, reverse victim offender, tell everyone that you're the narcissist and that they're the victim, etc. I mean, just no holds barred. And they just go on blast. And like most raging fires, typically this will burn out as the narcissist, I guess, feels like they've done the damage that they have. And honestly, I think it's because they just grow bored with the smear campaign the same way they grow bored with everything else. And by then, they've usually got at least one, backup supply that they've been, having an emotional affair with up until that point, so they can very quickly switch to that new relationship and go through the love bombing phase and blah, blah, blah. So the other thing that people have talked about a lot is hoovering, which from what I've read and heard from people, there's no time limit on hoovering. A really famous psychologist who does a lot of really good videos on narcissism and narcissistic abuse has said that she's had clients that have mentioned situations where their ex, narcissistic ex, has come back 10 years later and just reached out and been like, hey, what's up? How's it going? Like, not a day has passed. And I've heard this, multiple times. Like, just for whatever reason with the dynamics with hoovering, there doesn't seem to be a time limit at all. That like the narcissist puts you in their Rolodex and just it's there for life, and that they could be going through a dry patch sometime in the future and they're just going through the Rolodex, be like, okay, I'll reach out to them, and reach out to someone they haven't seen or had any contact with for 10 years. So the situation that I find myself in, and I'm really scratching my head about, is that I have the infamous covert narcissist ex that I broke up with about 18 months ago. Immediately after the breakup, she basically stayed up that night until 4 a.m., just texting these 4,000 word screeds to everyone she had in her contacts about how I was the devil and, I don't know, killed baby Jesus. I mean, it just went on and on and on. And it was just half truths and lies. She did what she could at that point, and then it just quickly, as quickly as it came up, it died off. And then I went through the whole process of, filing criminal charges and pushing things through the court system. And she, pled guilty to all charges and was on probation and yada, yada, yada. So that was nice and quiet. Obviously, she had, or I should say, I had a protection order in place. And I think she was scared. And it helped keep her in line. That, doing any type of character assassination behind my back, knowing that there's enough mutual friends that it could get back to me, you don't do that when you're on probation and there's a protection order in place, etc. So she was very nice and quiet, and it was very peaceful. She got off probation, the protection order ended, all that type of stuff. And at that point, I had really gotten used to the peace and quiet. And so at that point, I thought, okay, well, she's just going to go live her life in her little cave or whatever, and leave me the hell alone. And she hope she has fun with her new life. I'm not a part of that. End of chapter, end of the book, put it away. That's what I thought was going to be the case. Not too long after she got comfortable that the protection order was no longer in place and that the probation had ended, and that was a fact, and that she could verify with her lawyer, etc. She, if anything, ramped it back up. I mean, it was almost like after being arrested, spending time in jail, and having to deal with 12 months of court-mandated therapy and domestic abuse classes, she was resentful. I know, shocker. So no rehabilitation here, folks. She came out of the judicial system pissed off and angry. If anything, I would say that she is angrier and, if possible, crazier than she was when she went in. And so I'm in this weird position where it's 18 months out since the incident, since, like, say, the initial smear campaign, exploded up and then quickly died away. She's started the smear campaign again, in earnest. And she is doing so with some regularity and some consistency, which is out of character for narcissist, honestly. Again, they just get bored with everything so quickly. And so it's been strange to see her do this now for about a month, where she's consistently spent the time and energy to do the smear campaign and, put out the nastiness, and continue to target individuals and, psychologically speaking, corner them and say, hey, you need to be on my side. He's the bad guy. And, some people, are like, okay, well, that's kind of fishy. Leave me the hell alone. And, distance themselves from her. But other people are very gullible and easily swayed. And they're just like, oh, okay, well, if you say so, I mean, if you say you're the good guy and he's the bad guy, then I guess I have no choice but to believe you. And so it's just been really strange that 18 months later, the smear campaign has started again. And to me, it feels reminiscent in a way of like the hoovering that other narcissists would do if they were trying to reach out in a positive, way and reconnect, except this is wholly negative. I mean, and again, it's one of those things where even with the protection order no longer in place and all that type of stuff, there's zero communication from her to me at all, not even through third parties. And that everything is focused on other people and just, spreading and repeating this message of, oh, he's the bad guy, he's the bad guy, he's the bad guy, I'm the victim. And so, it's truly bizarre because I haven't heard anything like this. And it's also just, like I said, confusing to me for multiple reasons. I mean, another is that as far as I knew, she was with her new supply that came, right after me, and that her career was, working out and on a good trajectory, and that she was, living, life and doing stuff. So that to me, that just begs the question at that point. It's like, okay, who pauses their life and says, okay, I'm going to put my partner on hold. I'm going to put my career on hold. I'm going to put my life on hold. And I'm going to focus on putting my time and energy into a character assassination of the person who broke up with me 18 months ago. It's bizarre. It's truly bizarre. I have read and heard that narcissists are very vindictive, but I had no idea that vindictiveness would last as long as it has, given how flighty narcissists are and how quickly they grow bored. So anyways, again, like if you've had any experiences like this, I'd love to hear about them in the comments. Hopefully this video has been helpful. Thanks.